Hello and welcome to the Live, Love, Laugh Lives with myself, Cheryl Chapman, where we are meeting incredible human souls, humans having an experience on this planet right now, who are sharing with us how they live, love and laugh every day. And so today I'm going to introduce you to somebody, well actually I'm not going to introduce you, she's going to introduce herself to my amazing, lovely, fabulously, I have got so many labels for this woman, mentor, friend, pain in the arse, you name it, I can think of loads, but someone who I love very, very much, so please introduce yourself.
Welcome to Planet Marion. My name is Dr. Marion Bevington. And I do astronaut training. At least I began this week to do astronaut training.
Yes, Planet Marion will be a term that you'll probably be thinking to yourself as we go through this interview. So Marion, what do you do apart from astronaut training?
So I used to program computers for many, many years. Now I deprogram people.
Yes, and we are the co-founders of the Find Your Why Foundation, where we help people live, love and laugh every day. So Maz, tell us a bit about what you do in your life.
So in my life, I am what do I do? I'm an explorer. That's what I do, isn't it, in my life? So I love to understand why I do the things that I do, especially when I'm doing something that I don't want to, or I didn't plan it, or my head can't work out why my body's behaving this way, or me emotions are this way. I really love, you call it my picky finger, don't you?
Yeah, like
I've got a super picky finger and it goes, why is this happening? What's inside? Ooh, and I go down rabbit holes. So that's kind of how I live my life. And it worked perfectly as a programmer because you want to know what the problems are and what the solution is, and you pick till you get it right. And now in the same way with people, I want to know what's the solution that you do want and how can we make that happen. That's when the picking starts.
So tell us about your journey, because obviously when we do the Find Your Why, we're talking about our clients, we're talking about how we can help them. But where did your journey start? How did it begin? Like why? Why do you do what you do?
So I do what I do because I got sick. So I got sick, I got diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, and I took the pills I was told to take like a good girl. And I got sicker, and they told me I was doing well and I was getting sicker, and they were telling me I was doing fine, and I knew it wasn't working. So I then actually lost my vision, the clarity of my vision, and almost lost the vision in one eye completely, got double vision, and couldn't work on a computer screen anymore because I couldn't actually read properly. And so suddenly my life got snatched away from me. But at the time this happened, I'd just embarked on yoga training. I'd chosen to be a yoga teacher because I'd been in Mexico and had an opportunity to run a yoga group as a yoga lover. And I wasn't qualified to teach, but it wasn't the first lesson. I think it was the second time I had a lesson or a group. And this little voice inside my head just kept going, this is it, this is it. This is what I want to do. I feel emotional saying it. This is what I want to do. And it's that feeling, it's that, this is the yes. This is the truest, most authentic yes I've ever experienced. And everybody should be able to do this because it'll get them off my case.
And so when you had that moment of like clarity, because obviously like you know we work a lot with feelings, don't we? So like this feeling was so immense that this was it. It was like whoa, almost like you'd found
it was screaming
like
in
yourself.
My head. I never had such a clear knowing that it couldn't have been righter.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And so you've embarked on this journey. You've started to do yoga. You were travelling to because like you were working in IT, getting paid zillions of money, poundages.
They throw money at you. They just throw money at you. So I was spending it travelling. So I got to see lots of the world. I got loads of great experiences, but I'd never had a yes. I'd just been kind of running away because as a child I ran away from a violent alcoholic house. So my love of running away was what was driving me, but that wasn't towards anything. So it was like this suddenly it meant I didn't care what was behind me anymore. I only had to look in front and see what I was moving towards. And that was the biggest shift, I think, to get that yes, this is it, do this, this is what you want, what you really will, zig-a-zig-ah, and all of that stuff.
And so in terms of like this theory about, knowing who you really are, knowing what you should really want, how is it that you help, clients moving forward now?
You just have to keep asking that question. If you ask it, pick your finger. So what do you want? Why do you want that? And what will it be like when you get there? And then what do you think you might want next? And why do you want that? And it's really digging and digging and digging until you get to that seed that is that same light that happened in me, which goes, oh, that's it. That's what it is. You've put your finger on the button kind of thing. That's it. And it was hidden all underneath all this trauma. Now that I understand trauma, the button's hidden under trauma. It's hidden under social conditioning. It's hidden under all of the different constructs that we've been educated and raised within. They hide that magic. This is you. This is your unique, authentic you. And so to be able to reveal that authentic piece, yeah, it's just, yeah, it does drive me.
Yeah, and I know you've worked with lots of people. You work with, like, obviously there's lots of women in the Find Your Why Foundation, but you've also worked with sportsmen, businessmen, you know, and women.
Well, coming from the business background and being highly technical, because I was a proper geeky programmer, and when people, even jobs that I've had, I'd walk in and all of the security guards would know me, all the women in the canteen with the cleaner in the toilets would know me, and then they'd find out, oh, she's the woman who she runs the IT testing department, and they'd be like, how can you be this, you're just this like crazy, talks to everybody, scouser and living in London, just out there having fun, and yet, you know, you've got this massive responsible role. And so that distinction was always there. But what that's helped me to do, I can embody the role of the serious businesswoman. I know what's needed. I know what you have to do to get what you want in business. So that offers the serious businessmen or the people who don't understand, you know, energy work or spiritual work, that offers them a way to connect to me, and it allows me to bring my skills to the table. And then on the other side, the Planet Marion, space cadet, spiritual seeker, and all of that sort of stuff, that brings me into a completely different world. And it is lovely to see that moment when people they get both sides. Whether they've seen me as a spiritual person and suddenly they go, bloody hell, she's really clever. Or they see me as the clever person, they go, bloody hell, she's really spacey. Yeah. Whatever, that bringing those two pieces together is just so powerful when I see people get that. Because then they don't quite know who I am, and that opens up a space. I can be whoever I am. I don't have to try to fit in. I don't have to, there's no supposed to be in that. Because they go, how do you do that? Well, just by being in this present moment.
Yeah, yeah. And you talked before about, you know, being your authentic self, and you talked about trauma. So I know when I first started working with you, it was like trauma. I was like, oh my God, you know, I've not got many secrets, not really. But trauma, you've got a really lovely way of explaining what trauma is, even if you're a kid, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. So we've got, a trauma is when you're in a situation where you don't know what to do. So there's like, it's a surprise, it's a shock, so a one-off trauma is like a PTSD type trauma. That can happen in any moment. So if you're 3 and you've got your best ice cream and it's the hottest, sunniest day of the year and the ice cream's dripping down your fingers and your arm and you're just really enjoying it, and the ice cream van's gone now, so you can just wave goodbye as he plays his music. So, and then suddenly, as you lick your hand, all your ice cream goes on the floor. And you're in trauma in that moment. You can, just from dropping your ice cream, that's it. That can create a really big shockwave that then you'll carry that shockwave till you come back and revisit and heal it. But what I've learned on the way recently is that it's not just those single incident traumas that are actually the problem. It's the social conditioned traumas that create more problems. So even things like attachment theory, where we talk about when you're a baby and, you know, skin on skin, drinking from the breast. Well, my mum was an Irish woman. There weren't no breastfeeding going on. You were on a bottle because it was good Irish Catholic, you know, bodies are disgusting things in that world. So that disconnect trauma was part of my reality as a child and part of most of our realities. And that patterning, that disconnect patterning then is the actual, like the fertile soil, if you like, for the ice cream drop trauma to really hit home. So the more of these social conditioned traumas, developmental traumas that we've got, which is what the whole Planet Marion and the space cadet and the space astronaut thing was about, my presentation. It is about the developmental trauma. We develop into these people who are not authentic, but we're very proud of what we've made of ourselves. We've made the best of a bad lot. So we've become super independent, or we've become a people pleaser, or we've become the rescuer, because nobody gave it to us, so we know what's needed. I spent 100% of my relationships with men teaching them what I needed. So I chose the most wounded little sparrows and fixed them up. But then they would never give me back the love I'd given them, because I never told them that was what I needed. I never asked for it. I didn't even know it was actually what I was doing. But it was like I was teaching them, or I was portraying the behaviour that I knew I was lacking. But I wasn't receiving it, I was giving it. And it doesn't work. It's not a way to teach somebody how to treat you.
I know a few days ago we had one of our events, so obviously we won't name the client, but there was a client who was like, oh, I'm really independent. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know what the talk that Marion, the presentation that she's talking about, she did a presentation where anyway, you've got to watch it. Just Google Marion Space Cadet, you'll probably find it.
Planet Marion.
Yeah, Planet Marion.
Marion.
But if we go back to when we were working the other day with one of our clients, and it kind of brought in this trauma and this authentic bit together, didn't it?
It was lovely because we use like a personality profiling, genetic blueprinting, how to really be you, who you were born to be. So this spark inside, how do you find and reignite that spark? And one of the charts that I'd given her, it said that she was out of 100% independence when working in groups. She was only about 10%, and she'd put a big red cross next to it and said, this is wrong, Marion. And I said, why do you think it's wrong? And she said, I'm super independent. And I said, there's trauma speaking. And she's like, no, I'm really, really independent. But there's trauma speaking because we know she's a team player. She's a massive team player. So she's interdependent, and she's good at working on her own, but only because she then goes out and works in teams as a result of what she's done on her own. So to help her understand that she would have marked herself 100% independent, that's a wound. The pride is how independent I am. The wound is I can't even feel my own disconnect because it feels like it would be so painful it would die. You know, the whole disconnect from the attachment theory and the whole thing about the mum and the bonding and the babies and how we're looked after as children. And so once she understood that actually her level of independence at 10% was perfect, and the 90% that she had assumed was pride-based adaptation for having a disconnected developmental trauma thing happen when she was little, like we all do. Because I think most, especially women of our age, there weren't many of us breastfed. You know, it wasn't really a thing then, was it? It was like, it was almost trendy to have a bottle. You were wealthy if you had a bottle, whereas you were poor if you had the breast. So it's really weird how it impacts. And then again, to see her go, oh my God, yeah. And then so she rubbed out the Red Cross.
Yeah, I mean, we know that because she does a lot of work with a lot of other people. And it is interesting because I had a similar sort of thing, because I used to say I don't really like people. And that's because with this blueprinting that we use, I now know that I can help people, I can see what the gap is. And if people don't take that information on, I'm kind of like, oh, wasting my time then with this one. When actually I know now that I need to be invited, you know, to go into that group. So now, of course, we do have groups, working with groups all the time. But, you know, I just say, oh, it's because I was an only child till I was 16. I'm independent, which is very similar. So I saw that. Yeah, exactly.
Child is a disconnect, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So you live your life helping other people now. You love what you do, which is obviously very clear. What makes you laugh?
Me.
I agree.
And you.
Anyway, there we go. That's it.
Yeah, I do. And I only tell a joke because I like it. So I could tell the same joke 10 times and I don't care who laughs, I laugh because it's a joke I like. Yeah.
We've got a great piece of video. If you haven't watched it, you've just got to watch it because it's just so funny, is The Chase with Bradley Walsh. When he's talking about fanny schmeller. I mean, you've got to go and actually experience it to just... If you watch that video and you don't laugh, seriously, let me know, because I've got another lady called Dawn Gibbons Cox MBE, and she's got a burial site for you because you must be dead.
Yes.
Like, it's just one of the funniest things. And even if you go, I'm not going to laugh, because when you first showed me, and now there's a bit of me that's going, I'm not going to laugh because Marion finds it funny, you know, for whatever reason. And then we're watching it, tears rolling down our face, like just little things like that.
We sat for 3 hours like watching it over and over again because more people kept arriving, didn't they? It was that event we were at. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. It was before you gave up drinking.
Oh, it's before I gave up drinking.
That's what that was. Yeah, we had it on for 3 hours, like non-stop, back to back, play it again, and everyone kept coming in and we just laughed more and more. Brilliant piece, yeah. Fanny schmeller.
Good bit of comedy always helps, doesn't it? I noticed you've got a fan there, and you've also got a couple of books.
I've got a couple of fans in the room. Thank you for coming. And I have this. Because I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm a fancy fanner, not a fanny schmeller.
Yes, very professional business, Marion.
Yeah, you never know when you need it, do you? Last week I had a week off. Not hot flush for a whole week. This week, oh my God, a vengeance. They're back.
So you've got a couple of books. So you've actually written 3 books, haven't you?
I have written 3 books, and I brought 2 with me today, because Planet Marion, you just get what you're given. So the first one is, and what I love about both of these books is it's the 2 of us. We can have a little love fest. And yeah.
Sometimes people say, are you lesbians? Nothing wrong with lesbians. Some of our best friends are lesbians. But actually, I'm a Sagittarian.
And I'm a Virgo. Not virgin.
I do have a husband.
I've
Anyway, go on. Love fest over.
I've never had any of my own. Anyway. So, we have the Find Your Why book, which is written by my beautiful co-creator and myself. And that was a really good example of how we work well together, wasn't it? Because you activate and kick up the fucking arse, and I goes down rabbit holes. I go down rabbit holes and I get information, and I go down rabbit holes and I pick more. So this is a lovely halfway house of enough information that you can actually read it, and you won't be reading it for the rest of your life, which you would be if I'd written it on my own. And it's really practical as well. I love it. I mean, we just get feedback all the time, don't we, from people who, I bought it 3 years ago and I've only just read it. Oh my God, I can't believe, why did I wait so long, and all sorts of stuff. I love it. So that's a definite must have. Get one for your mum, your dad, your cat. Because it's so magic, it helps cats learn how to read. And this is a great one that we were both a part of, wasn't it? It's Transformational Lessons. Yeah. So this is a lovely example again of how we can be different, because we've got a chapter each, so you can see the difference in our work. And what I love about this is that this has got a really lovely understanding of why you do what you do, and we've brought the Find Your Why work together. And for me, my chapter's called Oozing Juicy Joy, which is like just then when you said, what do you find funny? Me. Because when I ooze juicy joy, it's like the best feeling, both inside, and then when I get to watch it back, which I'll be able to do with this interview as well, I go, oh my God, I was just oozing juicy joy then. It was fucking great.
Brilliant. So thanks for sharing. So we could talk for hours, because we do. And so for now, thank you, Marion, so much for being in my life, and also for being here. Wamaste. The wise one in me sees the wise one in you and knows we are the same. Thank you for listening to the Live, Love, Laugh live, and we hope to see you soon. In the meantime, of course, remember to live, love and laugh every day.
Every day.
Thank you.